My name is Nama Aroni, and I'm the Enablement Manager at Boyum IT. And today I will present you a brand new product of Boyum IT, which is completely separate and different from all the other Boyum products that you've seen. This standalone product is the first of its kind and will improve your daily work whether you're a sales manager, a support representative, a consultant, or a C-level manager. So before we get started, there's just one disclaimer that we have to put in, which says that we're still in development. Now, what you're going to see today may be subject for some changes and further development. And for those of you that have seen the product before, you may be seeing something slightly different, as this is a work in process. However, what you are going to see is the core functionality. So now that we're done with the administrative part of the demo, we can actually begin. So I hope you guys are ready, because here it comes. B1 CRM for Outlook. That's the new product for Boyum IT. Now, as you know, the #1 email client in use within the business industry is Microsoft Outlook. The use of its email and calendar functionalities are widespread among companies, and I'm sure that in your company they are in use as well. Now, when a business is looking for CRM, generally the primary concern is how users would be able to adapt and react to the new email functionality, which is usually very different than Outlook. Many other CRM solutions try hard to emulate Outlook within their own applications. However, in the end, the users want the true power of Outlook. They never get used to the look and feel of the other systems. Because Outlook is in such a high demand in the business community, Boyum IT decided to build its CRM inside of Outlook. With CRM for Outlook, Boyum IT presents a CRM cockpit in Outlook that gives you all the information and the power you need to handle CRM effectively and directly from Outlook. Whether you need to see the most recent sales data of a customer, or maybe you need to update a business opportunity or a quote or a lead, you can now do that within Outlook. You no longer need to spend hours that you're spending for finding vital information in different areas inside SAP Business One. We've gathered all this information for you in one place where you usually spend most of your time communicating with your business partners anyway, which is in Outlook. Now, basically, there is no hassle. There is no more time that needs to be spent away. All the information is right there in front of your eyes, and you can become way more productive. Now, I will say something that I haven't mentioned at the beginning. In this webinar, we're going to allow questions in the end of the webinar. If you do have questions along the way, feel free to write them in the chat, and I will refer to them later in the demo. I hope that's okay with everyone. So before we actually go into the live presentation, I want to discuss the installation, because installation is a big thing, especially when talking about Business One. Now, the whole purpose of this application is to make it easy and user-friendly for you to work with. Therefore, from a user perspective, the solution is very easy to install. There are only 3 steps that you need to do before you get this application up and running. Now, once you do those 3 steps, then CRM for Outlook is connected to your SAP Business One database, and you're ready to go. So you don't need to have SAP Business One installed in your local PC in order to run CRM for Outlook. The 3 steps are the follows. You get an installation package, you click on the setup. Then you're going to get the installation window. You click on the install. That's a usual installation. Once you do that, once you finish the installation, an email will be sent to your email account, and when you click on it, CRM for Outlook is activated automatically. There is no other steps that is needed. You're ready, and you can start using the product. Now, how easy was that? So, just for you that are using Outlook on a mobile, and I'm sure you have these questions running in your head, if you use Outlook application on your mobile devices or on your browser, then the application, the CRM for Outlook, is available is there as well. We know that when you're on the road, you do need access to relevant information quickly and easily. This is now possible in mobile devices or in the browsers through MSOWA, which is Outlook web app. So just so you know. So what's the functionality? Of course, I'm going to show you everything, but just as a high level, what you can do with the CRM for Outlook is, of course, to show data from SAP Business One, edit data on Business One, jump to data from SAP Business One, and we're going to see what it means to jump to information, and much, much more. So now let's switch to a test system that I have set up here with an Outlook client which already has CRM for Outlook installed. Now, as you can see, I have a new ribbon. This new ribbon now says SAP Norm Thompson. This is actually the CRM for Outlook. And before I actually go through the presentation, I want to say one or few words about MES and the email that we have highlighted in here. MES is usually our global channel manager, but for the purpose of this presentation, we've set him up as a contact person for Norm Thompson. So whenever we click on an email that we get from MES, the system knows automatically that it needs to display the information for Norm Thompson. So this happens automatically. You do not need to go through any manual synchronization or any other configuration step. Once you install CRM for Outlook, this is what you get automatically. Okay, so now let's go through and see what we actually get with CRM for Outlook. So as we said, we click on an email, we get the information. That is easy. Now, what information is that? We get the customer information. So for example, we can see the industry and the account balance and the website, and of course the address and the phone. We can also see the contact information. So MES, as we said, is a contact person for Norm. He's a channel manager, and this is his awkward phone number. What we can also see is open items. So basically Norm, as we know, opened some documents within SAP Business One, and we have the possibility to view which of those documents are open, and we can view some of the information in here. So for example, for a sales opportunity, we can see the potential amount and the owner and the stage the opportunity is at. We can also see the total amount of all the open sales opportunities that we have. If I go to a service call, then we can see as well the date and the description. So in this case, he's complaining that the printer is not working. In activities, we can also see relevant information, and the same goes for the sales document. And again, we get the total amount of the open quotations that we have in the system. We can also get something that we call timeline, and timeline is all the activities and the actions that you have with that you've done with Norm Thompson. So this is available to all employees, of course, based on permissions. But in this case, you can see that recently we've opened an activity and an AR invoice and so on and so on. Okay, so another thing that we've added into this view is two more charts or two more views. That one of them is called the performance indicator. So performance indicator basically gives you the sales information up to date from the beginning of the year up to this stage, and it compares it against last year exactly for this period. So we can see that Norm Thompson is actually performing much, much better this year than last year. We can also see that the sales up to this point of the month, and it is compared against the sales up to this point of last month. So we can see that probably up to the 9th of June or 9th of May, there has been no sales, and that's why we do not see any percentage information. We can also see a chart. In this case, we have the top 5 sold items in 2014. So for Norm Thompson, this is specific for Norm Thompson, we can see which items has he purchased the most, which gives us a very good indication of, for example, which products do we want to bundle, or which product do we want to do a massive marketing for, and so and you get your own ideas. But this is one of the charts I believe that we're going to have much more in the future. So with that, this is, as I said, it's a quick overview of the customer. But we can also update information from CRM for Outlook directly to SAP Business One. So, for example, we get here a phone number, again, very awkward phone number, but we can click on that, and we can see that we have the option to control plus click to edit. So I can come here and I can control click on that, and I can see that all the fields that are open in here that are not grayed out are basically available for update. So I can come here and I can say that this number should be like that and click on OK. Whenever we do that, Business One is automatically updated. So let's see how we approach Business One. For example, everything on this ribbon is clickable. So I can click on Norm Thompson, and Business One is going to open the business partner master data for Norm Thompson. And now we can see the 5 that we've just added in CRM for Outlook. So this happens instantly. There is no lag time even, and I'm sure you have this question, what if my database is big, or what performance downgrade does it have on my system? You will not experience performance downgrade. We've done the testing, and even with large databases, this happens instantly. I'm sorry. Now, another thing that we can do is, for example, if we want to see the account balance for a customer, I can click on the account balance. And again, the window is going to open up in SAP Business One with the relevant account balance. So as I said, many of those are clickable and will allow you to access Business One. For example, sales opportunities. Let's say that Mess is calling us and he's saying that he raised the sales opportunity in 2013. That's a bit old, but let's say that we want a quick access to it, so we want to click on it. I'm going to click on the sales opportunity, and again, I'm going to see that sales opportunity from that date open instantly in the system. And the same goes for all the other documents. I can, of course, continue and go and decide to click on AR invoice 257. And again, once I go, 257 is opened in here. So just imagine the time saving that you get with the ability to click from Outlook and instantly get to the document that you wish in SAP Business One and view other information that you wish. This is actually a big productivity a big productivity theme that you can go and take to your customers and let them become more productive and work faster. So another thing, for example, in the timeline is also clickable. So I can come from here and decide to open and see what is activity number 7. Once I'm going to click on it, you get the idea. Activity number 7 will be opened instantly in SAP Business One. Okay. So this is the jump to information that you have within the product. Now, I'm sure that, again, all of you are asking, well, what if I have my own user-defined information, user-defined field that I've added into the business partner or the contact person? I also want to view that information because it's highly relevant for me. So you get here the 3 dots that you get within the contact person and the business partner, and you can decide from here to select the UDFs that you want to display. For example, we've done that in the business part, in the contact person. So you can see right now it's displayed a bit awkward. That's fixed within a higher version. That's actually a bug. But you will be able to see if that, if Norm Thompson or Mess is part of a specific email category of MailChimp or of print and delivery, then you can see that in here. So you will be able to see the relevant information in CRM for Outlook and like that to personalize. And I will say that in the future versions, all this ribbon will be personalized based on the user, and we'll be able to pick and choose what we want to display. Another thing that we can do is basically stay organized by tracking the email and the relevant SAP items. For example, we get here something called tracking. So once I open that, I'm basically seeing the documents that are being tracked for that email. So I can, if you can imagine it, I can attach a a document within SAP Business One into a specific email. So it will speed up my communication, and when I respond to the customer, I'm going to have an easy access and I will not have to look for the certain document in the open items list. Now, if I want to track a document, let's say that now another sales opportunity became relevant. So for example, I can pick, I'm not sure if I had that already, so let's pick sales opportunity number 69, and you can see in the gray here that control plus click, you can track a document. So I'm going to do a control click, and the number 3 have changed to 4, and now I can see that sales opportunity number 69 have been tracked for this email. Now what does that mean? When I open the tracking for that sales opportunity, I can see the number of emails. Right now I have 1, but I can see the number of emails that have been marked as tracked for that document. So in the future, this functionality is going to have much more possibilities, but for now, look at it as a sharing functionality for information, for relevant information, for specific email communication. Now, from here as well, you can go and you can imagine what's next. I can access the document. I clicked on it, and opportunity number 69 have been opened. So the clicking is available from all the, as I said, from every step of the ribbon in here. Now, another thing that I'm sure you have running through your head is how can I create documents from within CRM for Outlook that will get automatically synced to SAP Business One. So we've added here something called Create New. Right now we have the activity and the service call. In the future we're going to have more documents. Do not expect all the SAP Business One documents to be able to create from within CRM for Outlook, but I will say that we're thinking about a sales opportunity, sales quotation, and a sales order. So those are the documents that we're thinking about next, and it will go into a development queue once we understand that this is possible, of course. So, for example, let's say Mess is calling and he's saying he would like to schedule an activity, he would like to schedule a meeting. So I can go and click on the activity, and we can go here and create the type of activity that Mess would like to create. So, for example, a meeting. And if we have some types, then of course we can pick the type and the subject. Of course, all of this is coming from a Business One. And now I can have here the subject or the remarks of the meeting, for example, regarding sales opportunity. And I can set the date. So for example, for the 10th, so for tomorrow, and the time. And you can see here that I can create as a meeting in Outlook. And this is a big upside of this feature, that basically I can view the meetings that I'm setting up from within my Outlook. So I don't have to go into the calendar in SAP Business One. So once I click on OK, this meeting will get generated. And I would switch to my calendar. So this meeting will get generated. You can see a new meeting for Norm Thompson, and that's exactly the meeting that we've just set. And when we go back, we can see, I don't know if some of you have noticed, but the number used to be 9, and now it's 10. So now we have 10 different activities, and here it is regarding sales opportunity, and that's the activity that we've created. And of course, I'm going to click on it, and we're going to see that in SAP Business One. So we covered the creating of the documents from one end to another, and as we said, this is a good way of also to scheduling appointments based on schedule of employees and so on. Okay, so now that we know what we can create, let's see what else do we have. For example, we can decide that we want to change the ribbon, or we want to look for another information on another business partner. For example, microchips. So microchips is the customer. We can create from here a new activity or a service call. And in the future, as you can see, we have it ready in here. We're going to see what has been tracked, the open items, and the contacts for that customer. And once we're going to click on it in the future, the ribbon will change into the details for microchips. So it will not stay on Norm Thompson. So like that, we can find different information on different business partners. Now, we do have another scenario. For example, let's say we get an email from a contact that is not being recognized by Business One. For example, Stefan is a contact that is not being recognized. We don't know who is, but let's say that hypothetically, I know that he's a contact of microchips. So what I can do is I can say that this is a business partner. So Stefan is a business partner, and I can link him. So once I link him, I can say that this is part of microchips, and we can fill in the details, click on OK, and Stefan will become a contact person for microchips. So again, that's another thing that you can do. You can create linkage between different contacts into SAP Business One, and by that save a lot of time in actually adding the data yourself manually into SAP Business One. And of course, whenever in the future, once we link him, whenever in the future we're going to get another email from Stefan, then we're going to see the information in the ribbon for microchips. Another thing that we've kept here, and I'm not sure if some of you have noticed, is the core functionality for the email in Outlook. So what our thoughts around that was, we do not actually want you to move to another tab if it's not needed. So we've kept the basic emailing functionality inside the ribbon, so you don't have to switch. So now I can go and I can reply to mess, and I can forward, and so on and so on. And again, in the future, we will personalize what you can actually pick and choose from Outlook, from the core functionality of Outlook inside the CRM for Outlook ribbon. And now the last thing that I want to show you is, we are at Boyum IT. We are very focused on productivity and working faster in doing things that previously used to take, let's say, 2 minutes and now take about a second. So in that case, you're going to see the same type of a theme going on in CRM for Outlook as well. So for example, I can call my contacts from within CRM for Outlook. So whether you have Link open or Skype, once you're going to click on a phone number, you're going to get the function or the software that you have running opening up with that phone number with a quick access to call that customer. I can also, when I click on the address, I can go and I can decide to see the address, or by clicking on it, or Control plus click to show the direction. So a Control plus click, I already have it open. So a Control plus click is going to show you the directions for that route. We can also click on a website. So again, we're going to see it doesn't mean anything, but we're going to see the website of the customer. Another thing that we've added is the possibility to view the LinkedIn information for Norm Thompson. Of course, Norm Thompson doesn't have a LinkedIn information, but if he had, then we would be able to link it and show LinkedIn information. Another thing that we've added is MailChimp information, so we can decide once we click, for example, on Mess, to attach him to a distribution list in MailChimp in case you are using MailChimp as your email marketing software. And of course, we will have much more functionality coming along the way. So I'm basically done with the live demo, and I'm going to go into the roadmap and where we're going with the product. Of course, as I said, everything that you see is still being developed. So this is just some of our thoughts as for the future development, but this is, I'm saying that to you because we would very much like to get your feedback so we can broaden the scope and the focus of the most essential needs that you find that is needed within your customers. Now, as you can see, there is a beta version available for partners in June. but the official release is not before the end of Q3. Now, as a disclaimer that we've put at the beginning, you're going to find many new features. For example, something that we're thinking about is integration to the Boyum pack. We are going to use, I don't know if you guys, you're going to see that in the next few days. You're going to get an email. We're starting working with Zendesk as our support functionality, and we will create an integration to Zendesk. So for example, if a customer open a service call or a support call, we're going to have that access from within the ribbon directly into Zendesk. So once we talk into a customer, we're going to see what support complaints he has. We're going to have integration to other social media. And again, as we said, we are looking for your feedback to see what exactly is needed in your markets. And again, that's a hint for you to send us emails and to tell us what you need. We're going to open now the line for questions. Again, just write them in the chat. Will it work with multiple databases or just one database? The answer is yes. This is as an example, internally we get data from 6 databases. Will it display advanced received from customer? I guess, Lilos, I'm not sure what exactly is the question. So if you want, just write it down yourself. Are we talking about a down payment, an advanced down payment? This is not currently in the product, but could essentially be included. So if that's not the answer, just, of course, tell us. In regards to multiple databases, will it consider consolidated automatically? There is no consolidation. If a mail match multiple BPs, it will show a matches drop down in front of the BP info, so you can switch between the different BPs. Okay, as for the down payment, we're taking it as a feedback. Is it possible to go into the opportunity? For example, I want to see the opportunities in the general info. So again, you can click on it and it opens directly on SAP Business One Client. I believe this question was before we actually showed the click. Is it possible to limit the list of business partner for Outlook? User give permission to a BP. So in first version, you can filter the customer, supplier, and leads, but you're not the first to ask this. So we are working now on a plan down the road to make filters based on BP groups, properties, and UDF. But as mentioned, it is not ready yet. It is a plan. Can you create a new document other than activities or service calls, maybe a quotation? The answer is that we will start with an activity and service call, but the future versions will probably include sales quotations and a sales order, but it is not intended to create every single feature in the B1 client. Is the Business One user access rights carried through? It has its own permission, so the CRM for Outlook has its own permission tree controlled in the cloud. The SAP permission does not fit, or does not have a good fit enough. That's why we're creating our own permission structure. Does the top 5 products report showed the top 5 for the BP only? I assume yes. Yes, it is for the current selected BP. If it wasn't cleared right, so it is for the selected BP. Is this compatible with Outlook and OWA as used with Office 365, or does it need an on-premise Exchange server? So the answer is it works on both on-premise and Office 365. The web app on Office 365 is still an open question. Does Boyum Outlook solution support B1 Cloud landscape? The answer is not right, but we can see we have to test it. So there is generally no reason why not to. What is the SAP licensing implication? Are indirect access user license needed? All we need is an SAP license. Indirect access license is enough for read-only. So we do have more questions. For which version of SAP BO does it apply to? So it requires SAP 9.0, Outlook 2010 or 2013. When do we get a trial? Again, late June. That's when you can get a trial. Does each user need to have SAP B1 user license as well? Yes, but for read-only, we'll only need indirect access. Do you need Boyum? No, that's a good question. Do we need to have Boyum in place? No, you don't need B1 up to run this product, but the two will work together later. Okay, let's go through the other questions. Will it also sync from SBO calendar to Outlook of the employee? Will it sync from SBO? Will the Outlook sync for SBO? So meaning the calendar in Business One, will it get synced into the Outlook? Not at the moment, but we are looking for that for version number 2. What's the minimum? Okay, we have answered that. What about creating a BP from Outlook from a received email? This is still under consideration, but not there yet. Can you write your own queries for the ribbon? At some point, it will integrate into SAP into Business One usability B1 usability package SQL report. So that's a type of integration that we are planning for the future, so you can write your own reports. Is it compatible with Mac? Not as far as we know. It will only work for Windows as of yet. Okay, do you only see the sales opportunities and business partner related to the Outlook user sales person? It is found using the email, so you don't need Outlook contact. So basically it's not by the contact, but it's by the email. Okay, how does the setting in authorizations in SAP influences what you can see in the ribbon in Outlook? Cloud permissions, so basically not SAP permission other than create permissions. So as we said, the idea is that we use our own permission tree and not the SAP permission. How about an alert management, for example, to follow up on an activity, and also approval procedure? Will it include in this add-on? Not there. It's not there as of yet. Again, it is being written down, and we will consider it for the next versions. Would approval, that's a new question, would approvals be supported so you can approve via email instead of going into SAP? Again, approvals is not yet part of the product, but we will write it down. We do have a question here that, are you considering service where you can allocate multiple resources in schedule? So, or an example as a schedule. We're not sure that we understand the question. So if you can just state the question again, that's Jonathan. Jonathan, if you can write the question again so we can answer it. We have another question. Will it work if we have internet but not in network for accessing database? The answer is yes. The data is sent via the cloud. There is another question from Stina. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. The answer is, are there any news on segmenting customers regarding email sendouts? We are not sure we understand the question, Stina. If you can just, again, write down the question again. Okay, a lot of people are asking for approvals. We will write it down. That's a good question, and we will see what we can do. Jonathan, we're still not understanding your question regarding the scheduling. If you can just write down again the question. We have another question. Any ideas or solutions to use one SAP company as sales and then move the lead to another company as a customer, so a multi-company? I guess the idea is an intercompany, but Philip, if you can just verify your question and we can answer that. We just want to make sure that you're referring to a multi-company. So yes, you answered this is a multi-company, sorry, intercompany, which is the same. Just let's just wait for the answer here so everybody can see what's the answer regarding the intercompany. So again, no intercompany features planned at the moment, but it will go into our development request list, which gets very long by the second or by the minute. Philip, it's not Philip, Jonathan, we're still waiting for your answer if it's still relevant regarding the scheduling and the resources. And for now, we don't have any other questions, so please feel free to write down and ask further questions so we can answer them during the session today. And again, this is recorded, so we will use it at some point in time. We have another session in the afternoon, so obviously we will not release it before we finish with the sessions. So we have some more questions in here. Can you guys please clarify on the on-premise on-demand offering, which was discussed in the last slide, I guess with B1 on-demand and all other concepts floating around, just wanted to ensure we are clear on the model. So Rasmus, if you're on the line and you would like to take this question, feel free to answer. I'm just going to
I don't really know if we're talking about pricing regarding that on-premise on-demand thing or what it's about. In general, if we're talking about the technical side of having an on-premise Outlook or an on-premise Business One compared to having it in the B1 Cloud on-demand, shouldn't really matter. Of course, there is one server component in there that's not being discussed today. It's just telling you what databases and how to connect to them. And of course that needs to be installed somewhere on the server. So, but other than that, on demand, on premise doesn't really matter for the product.
enable you. Okay, so we have Catherine questions regarding the iPad CRM for Outlook. If she can access the document the same way as she does from a desktop.
Am I still on the call?
Yeah, you're still on the call.
Well, in general, you should look at it that the main feature Nama presented today is what we will give you in the first round. The app part of it with the mobility and such things are very limited at the moment due to limitation from Microsoft. So you should always see the iPad as it will never be able to do exactly the same as what you can do in the big Outlook. It will be read-only in the first version, and it will be first available a little later on as well. So you should see for the next few years the Outlook is the main product, and slowly as people move away from Outlook and onto iPads and iPhones and Android telephones as well, that product will slowly take over. But here now you should see what we have demoed today as the main product. There's a question. So now we can create appointment in SAP as an activity and immediately as an account. Yes, it is possible to see it in the Outlook calendar. It's a kind of tech demo at the moment on how to do it. Later on we will, let's say the first version we do here is all centered about the emails. Second step will be that you will be able to go into the Outlook calendar, and actually if you also create an activity inside the SAP client, it will also appear in the Outlook calendar. But that will be step 2 of the product. Right now we are focusing on the emails and have a little feature where you can actually add that activity into the Outlook calendar right now. But later on, Outlook calendar will also happen into our time task. For example, that you could take a calendar activity and turn it into a time task, time registration.
So we have another question.
Any others? Yeah.
Will we have any
other session for final? I don't really know that. We will show it all the time now. Now the cat's out of the bag. We have hinted a lot about what this is. Now a lot of e-learning, private demos will come slowly along, and as well the ramp up will start mid to late June. So if you are interested, you should contact us, and we will let people in groups, not to overwhelm the system too much. So you get early access the more you're committed to this. But of course there will be a final product release where we'll show it in the final form. Again, in Boyum IT internally, we have been using this product for a month now, and we are way further ahead today than we was 1 month ago. But there's still some things to be figured out in the system. There's so many combinations on how Outlook can be set up that there will be some early startup problems, as with any other new product. But if you're interested, send to the sales email that you are interested in becoming part of the ramp up, and we will take people in slowly as we go along from mid-June and all onwards until final release in Q3.
Thank you, Rasmus. Let's see, I think we have another question, or is it a thank you note? Okay, so I think for now we don't have any more questions. Again, I appreciate your time. Thanks, Rasmus, for helping me with the technical questions. And if you do have any other questions, come to sales@boyum-it.com. We will answer all of your questions and help you guys out. So we appreciate your time. Thanks, everyone. And with that, we conclude the session. Have a great day. Bye-bye.